He's a lo-fi horror guy. Yeah, he's kind of a guy, but he is so lo-fi, lo-fi a horror guy. Yeah. Lo-fi horror guy has been recorded in front of a live studio audience.
Here. So now we're going to do a little bit of a test and, just make sure that things are running smoothly so that this way, this weekend when we have our interview with a couple of very special guests, we will get this all rolling and moving.
Make sure this. And ho, what's up? Let's see here. Boom.
Hey, how's it going?
How's it going, man? Flawless.
How are you working?
I
Sorry?
think so. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, you're good.
All right. Can you see me?
A little bit your
Let's see here.
signal can see.
Is it better now?
Yeah, it's good. Thanks.
Better now? Okay, sweet. I'm out in my garage, so I'm not too noisy. That's why it's probably all messed up right now. Normally, I'm in my house filming all my stuff, so that's probably where the breakup's coming from.
That's no problem.
And we're gonna be talking your new book this weekend. I'm so stoked. I don't want to get into it too much right now, but I'm very excited.
Yeah. I'm very excited about this book.
Sweet. I recently got a little bit of a early promo on it. I did an unboxing video for 1984.
I saw it. It was awesome. Thanks.
Dude, that book is so sweet. And like I say, I don't want to dig too much, but you have a couple of new books coming out too, right?
Yeah, I have. This is the year where 4 books were meant to come out. I think 3 are coming out this year. It's just everything kind of coalesced into everything coming out, and then it became a very interesting year to promote books because they're not really in stores right now, or they're available virtually. But that's okay.
Yeah, and you have stuff on Amazon, correct?
That's right. Yeah. So what's out? There's a second. I put out sort of 2 kids horror books. One came out a few weeks ago, and the other one came out in the fall. And then I have a sort of a choose your own adventure story with Scholastic's Canadian imprint that I think it might have already launched like 2 days ago. I forgot about.
Okay. So you have Jurassic Kick, right?
That's one of them. Yeah.
Okay. I just recently started checking out some of these. I've got a little one, kind of middle school age, so I'm gonna be slapping those buys, man. And I'm gonna be getting them in here and seeing what's up.
They like scary things?
Oh yeah. I mean, how can they not? They're doomed from birth.
I know, right? That's the thing. Hey guys, definitely have been exposed to it, but like it's nightmare season, so it's a little too much for them right now.
Yeah.
But they read it's called Countdown to Danger. Let's see, what is it?
Okay.
Where is it? It's this thing. Countdown to Danger.
There it is. Beautiful.
Sabotage, yeah. With massive mutant lobsters. So Canadian in Nova Scotia, where we go once a year. So.
Oh, okay, sweet.
Yeah.
So now, with that being the choose your own ending, we are going to touch on that in your interview, just so you know. So just make sure you're brushing a little bit on those.
All right.
Have some thoughts collected.
Normally on the wall behind me, there's a whole bunch of sticky notes, and when I'm doing a choose your own, you would see like all 30, like the whole plot on sticky notes on the wall, because I have to visually map everything out and get all 30 endings nailed down. But now there's 2 sticky notes, one of which is like, an Amazon Prime show that we should be watching, and I wanted to do a scary story about a supply teacher. And I only have the title, Supply and Demand, but I have no idea what the story would be. I was like, that's a great, scary story for kids, Supply and Demand, but I don't know what it is yet. I'm circling that one.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, sometimes it just has to come with a title, and then you kind of gradually go along with it.
Yeah, so I did one. I've been working on like a 3rd book. I don't know if they're going to make it or not, but I've been wanting to do one about a hummingbird feeder. And it's filled with the red hummingbird fluid, but it's blood. And I've had that idea for like 6 or 7 years. Only recently I figured out what the story was. Sometimes they just need to sit and, percolate for a long time.
Oh my God, that's awesome. So you mentioned with the choose your own, you have 30 endings that you wind up with?
That's right. Yeah, I've done two of them. And so it's like, and it was purchased, well, there was Scholastic has like, they have their American imprints. There's a Canadian one, there's an Australian one, like they're all over the world. So Scholastic Canada picked up, I guess, a series of 3 books that were put out in Australia by this guy, and they bought the rights to it. So they came to me saying, do you want to do like a Canadian one? I said, sure, I'll do that. That sounds like a lot of fun. And then I had to fight to get the second one off the ground. But it's based on a premise from this Australian writer, but it's I think that his concept is 30 minutes, 30 endings. So like in the book, like there's like a timer running. So, you survive if you get to like 0 minutes, 0 seconds.
Okay.
None of which I actually do. That's all done in editorial. But it's not choose your own adventure, because that's actually a trademark term. They're very protective of that. So they've called it Countdown to Danger. But I mean, the concept is the same.
Right.
I read Fighting Fantasy when I was a kid, and that's like a choose your own D&D kind of book. Those were really big. I don't know if do you know those ones, Fighting Fantasy?
I am familiar. I was never huge into that stuff. I think probably my introductory was like the Goosebumps series. When they started getting into those ones. I thought it was kind of it was an interesting concept, and sometimes frustrating, but they're very cool. Like if you stick with them, they're awesome. Yeah. I can only imagine writing one though. Holy hell.
It's a lot of fun. I mean, it's good for I'm the kind of writer that goes on tangents, and if you ever, I've written myself into a corner, so you die, and you can just do another story strand. But so that they're not the kinds of stories where you're going to be building up like these very memorable characters and having an arc where somebody transforms over the course of the story, but it's like, here's a different take on that scenario. It's kind of like, you ever see, Clue's like that. Clue had like 3 different endings, right?
Right. Okay.
It ended like this, and then, or it could have ended like that. I love that. And I love when Clue has those different endings to it. So I think I have in one of them, the first one, I wanted to have it where 2 story strands feed back into like one story strand, but everything from one story strand onwards can't rely on information from plot A or plot B, because it would be incomprehensible. But I like that the challenge of trying to map all of that out. I think that's a lot of fun. They're fun to do.
Man, so you have, is it literally sticky notes on your wall that you plan out this whole map of what you're going to end up doing?
Yeah, but my new house, the wall, I think for the first one, it was from floor to ceiling, and it was the whole wall in my hallway. But our new house has wainscoting, which is, looks lovely, but it means I can't put sticky notes up. So I had to go back to like just making little diagrams. But it's very much about visually planning it out. Once the map is made and everybody agrees on the story map, then actually the writing of it's pretty easy, because you don't have to think, I know I need to do 500 words and get from point A to B, or in some cases point X to point Y. But I also know exactly where it starts and exactly where it ends. So it's a different part of your brain, the writing of it. It's more fun, but planning it's a lot of fun. I feel like Hitchcock was like that. He loved planning out his movies, and then doing his movies, kind of like, all right, well, I have to go make the movie now. But he had everything on paper figured out shot for shot. And it's a little bit like, I'm not equating it with a Hitchcock film. They're 2 different beasts, and I'm certainly not Hitchcock, but it's the same kind of attention to detail in the planning stages. And then when you actually go and do it, it's different. But when you do like scary kid stories, some of them are planned out, and some of them are just very stream of consciousness. Even for the soundtrack book, I remember mapping out the whole book and trying to figure out like what would be in what chapter. But of course, and I had everything on my wall in sticky notes, but the book made, and it's totally different. It's frustrating because I had everything mapped out, and we were going to have 2 pages on this, so the interview with so and so could be this long, and it just changes, and it gets made so in such a very fast, furious way. But the book looks really good. I'm glad. I'm excited about it on Saturday. We're doing it Saturday, I think. Yeah, right.
Yep. 11:30. So we're gonna be right all over it.
Are we in the same time zone? I'm Eastern times.
Eastern. Yep, Eastern. Yep.
Okay.
So my idea with it was I was gonna go, and because this Instagram live thing has been kind of frustrating, but I kind of keep with it just because a lot of the people that I've gotten a hold of through Instagram. So it's an easier thing as opposed to being like, oh, hey, download this application and then create a new email and do da. It's kind of frustrating because I can't have more than one person, but it's also going to be fun because I'm going to start out. I'll have Aaron on, and then we're going to do a series, probably like 20 minutes per him and then per you.
Sounds good. I'm totally game. Thanks for including us. It's listen. It's always fun to talk about soundtracks. Twist my arm.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and kind of a thing with my show and starting this too is a lot of my following is the horror community. But then I play drums in a band too, and so I have a lot of friends and a lot of people that are in the music community as well, that also are into horror and different things, but kind of on the mainstream level, to where it's fun to be able to talk to different people that I look up to and different people that I've reached out to, and you guys being included. I loved Blood on Black Wax, and then it just so happened that you have Planet Wax coming out, and I'm like, oh my God. And then you guys are like, yeah, let's do it. I'm like, holy crap, this is awesome. So I really appreciate it. And I love all the stuff that you do. And, now it opens up my eyes as far as that the other books that you have too, to other friends that I have that have younger kids, and even Blood on Black Wax, just the whole collection of that was awesome. So I appreciate it.
Thank you. Listen, I'm pleased that they're finding an audience. What is the wax books are really just a chance for us as fans to reach out to our heroes who are composers, to have an excuse to go buy some records and look at records and talk about them. I mean, it's not, it's work, and at a certain level, like, there is work that you have to do, but it's also what I would do in my spare time regardless, right? So they're just fun to put together. It's been, the fact that someone is, Matthew's been willing to publish them and to the level that he has, they look great. Really professional. So, produced the little, the 7 inches and the 12-inch he did of Prom Night. Like, it's just like he's done a bang up job on really bringing, I think with horror even more. Horror is funny. It's because it's a fringe genre, but with such a devoted fan base. I feel like the sci-fi fantasy one, I listen to those religiously. Like, I have a closet full of CDs. The running joke is that, like, thing on vinyl, but I'm like a CD guy. But I've become a vinyl guy in doing these books because I've had to grab a few things and track some things down. I ordered my Last Unicorn LP from CD, but we had to get the book. So I became a record collector for Planet Wax to some degree.
Okay, all right. Now, I mean, is it safe to say that you have Phantom of the Paradise on soundtrack?
That's my favorite one. It's up on the wall.
Oh my! There it is.
Yeah, see, my wall is a teaching wall right now. I'm a teacher, so I'm doing remote teaching from my house. So my sticky notes are all the grade 2 and 3 program that I'm running right now.
Okay.
So, of course, all the stuff on the back had to come down. My wife is a teacher, so I can't have all my Doctor Who and horror movie posters up for. So they've all come down until summer, and then they can go back up again. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean, you could, but the parents might be like, "What in the hell is that?"
Phantom is generally out of sight. I had a few things behind me here, but life will go on. It'll be okay. We'll pull through.
Sure. Now, one more thing before I let you go here. We were talking about just the whole process is blowing my mind about writing the multiple ending books. Have you ever gotten, hypothetically, let's say, like, to ending 20 and you're like, God, this is so good. I I wanna make a whole other book about this, spawning from this, but I need to have another ending, so I'm just gonna include it in this.
That's a good question. I know that like I at one point before I even got the gig to do this, some friends and I had years ago wanted to do a choose your own adventure style series, and in doing so, we went to the old original choose your own adventure books and literally mapped them out. Like I made little drawings every little scenario. So I actually had unbeknownst to me, had created a template for what I was later going to do. So when they gave me the book series that this is based on, I did the exact same thing. I went to it and plotted it all out and looked at it to see how long each story was before it all ended. Usually most of them at about 10 entries, 10, 11 entries is like as far as you get before they kind of peter out. And so somewhere between like 5 and 10 page turns, or turn to, of choices where, you split into like, do you want to do this or do you want to do that?
Right.
But I've never gone so far as to, I really like this one story where you need to survive, but I like I like killing people off. I think it's the fun is like not surviving it. The fun is coming up with all the creative deaths, or not even deaths, but we call them like the negative scenarios. Like if I can find, if you have a second, oh here it is. It's like I think this is this will be like my map. You might see like hard to see, but like there's like little red skulls. That's you died, and then that's like my visual code, and they're really hard to see. Like little green check marks are you
Okay.
That's just so I could just keep count of like, okay, I've got 23. I need like 8 more. So it's a constant process of trying to think about, is it going to be a good decision-making point where you split off? And then when you do split off, what could happen? So I did want to do one at one point. I really would like to do like a time travel, choose your own style book, because in which various paradoxes are created. Because it's like Back to the Future. Whenever you go back in time, you can change history, and then there's the butterfly effect. And then I thought, wow, you could really do a cool choose your own adventure where you go back in time and then you change you change your present, which is now the future. And I thought, wow, I just would like to map out the various scenarios. I don't even know what the story is, but that premise I think would be a lot of fun to do. It would be a little mind numbing, and not mind numbing, but mind melting.
Yeah.
It's very hard to keep track of it. So yeah, I think
That's sweet.
the mechanism of coming up with a choose your own style story is a lot of the fun, is the thinking about how do you survive and how do you link it all together.
Right. Okay. You're bringing up time warping. Have you ever read or seen this series for 11/22/63?
No, I know that's the Stephen King.
Yeah. Yeah.
I haven't read it yet. No, but
So I haven't read the book because it overwhelms me a little how big it is. But but I watched the miniseries, and some people kind of rag on it, but it's got James Franco in it and a couple of other different, bigger names in it. But when the ending comes, it's one of the craziest, just absolutely blew my mind things in the whole world. Anything that I've ever read, watched, I would even recommend watching the series because I loved it.
in terms of time travel and
Yeah. So basically what happens is they go back. He's a history teacher, and he finds a portal to go back to save JFK from being assassinated. And then in doing that, it's kind of one of those things where he goes back, he screws this thing up, and then he goes back to fix that, and then he screws this thing up.
Right.
And it's just a kind of a snowball effect of issues that are happening. But the ultimate result that comes out of it just absolutely blew my mind. You mentioned the whole kind of interdimensions type thing too, and that made me think of that.
I'll have to check it out. I recently, a couple years ago, finally watched Time Crimes.
Yeah.
That was a great time travel movie.
That was a really good one. Yeah. Very low key too. Not a whole lot of people mention that movie.
No, but it really does a good job playing with the intricacies of time travel in a way that, I don't think you can make a time travel movie without there being like some paradox that doesn't quite make sense. Back to the Future has its challenges, but that one, Back to the Future and Time Crimes are like the two that I can think of that really stand out. Although I went to go see, did you see the new Happy Death Day to You too, or what, the second one,
Yeah, I
which
did. Yeah.
tried to be an awesome sequel to like a surprisingly decent movie, but like I thought it was a lot of why not make a time travel sequel? That would be fun. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not to say I disliked it because I didn't dislike it. I think it was
Yeah.
just I was going into it thinking because Happy Death Day was actually one of my favorite like newer entries into just kind of slasher, even horror movies. Like I thought it was just so simple but so genius and so well done. Um, and then the second one, I think I just need to revisit it because I was expecting something else and then got about halfway through and it started with the time travel and I'm like, wait, what the
Yeah.
hell's going on?
Totally, it's very different, right? Like
Yeah.
I get
Definitely.
see that if you're I go into them with like all of my I'll leave everything at the door. It's going to be what it's going to be. I enjoyed it, but I can see, yeah, you go in wanting X, but you end up getting Y. And
Right. I mean,
yeah,
like a classic thing with like Halloween 3, people went in thinking
yeah,
they were getting Michael Myers and they're like, what the hell is this?
nothing
Not a
there.
bad movie, but
No,
not what you expected.
it's well, I mean, we talked to John Carpenter. Amazingly, we got to talk to John Carpenter for the first book, and then we got to meet him because he was in town doing his like live concert. But Halloween, like, he loves the Quatermass movies,
Oh.
and I mean, Halloween 3 is really like a Quatermass movie, but it's just called Halloween 3. Like it's by happenstance. It happens to be called Halloween, but
Right.
Night still wrote it, and it like the plot is very similar to Quatermass 2. Uh, and I know that he loved those movies. He loved like the music of James Bernard, who did all the Hammer films. So I feel like Halloween 3 is like this really weird anomaly. Like it doesn't fit, and yet it kind of fits with it's. It feels like a weird passion project of John Carpenter's, um, thematically about the kinds of things he loved when he was much younger. It's a really strong movie. It's better than a lot of the other Halloween movies.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Halloween 2 still, it kind of teeters on my favorite Halloween of all of them, even with the original one. But Halloween 3, under those two, honestly, is the best entry into all of them, with
Yeah,
or without Michael.
yeah. Well, I mean, Michael Myers is like he's a guy. I mean, I was thinking about the music because that's what I do, and I mean, the music is amazing. It is. I can't think of that movie working without that music. But it's incessant. Like it's just There's the Halloween theme. There's like 3 or 4 other cues that kind of play, but the Halloween theme, like it never stops. Like it kind of you can't really listen to. I've listened to it independent of the film, and it's not nearly as effective. It's a great theme, but it's like it's the same theme over and over again. But then like that's what Michael Myers is. Like there's nothing about him. Like, he just goes and kills people, and they've
Right.
tried to turn him into a character. Even in the latest Halloween film, they try to like understand who he is. But he's just like, in some ways, he's like the Terminator. He just goes and kills people.
Right.
Almost like monotonous, like
Yeah.
like it totally works because it's not a person you're dealing with. It's like this killing machine, and it has like that very unusual rhythmic, like it's in 5/4 time. Um, that music fits that character, like that killer, like a glove.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
I don't even know where we. But so the music is different. Like he doesn't rely on the Michael Myers theme. He comes up with a lot of new music. He didn't direct it, but he had I mean, he was heavily involved in it,
Yeah.
and like I think the music in number 3 is better than number 1. I know Aaron will say otherwise, but yeah,
I
yeah,
think it's I think it's just as notorious, honestly, as far as people, especially that are in the horror community. That whole, the main jingle of Halloween 3 is kind of one of the things I feel like that would get brought up along with like
yeah.
the Halloween score, the Jaws score. I mean that jingle. It always pops in my head every Halloween. So anybody that's ever seen that movie is like, I'm not gonna escape that being in my head now.
We might be entering into a Halloween where we don't go trick or treating this year, right? Like,
Yeah. Very
I
wild.
love Halloween, but I don't know. Are we gonna be like at the point where we're ready to like have strangers come in and like touch our doorknobs and take our candy?
I don't, I don't,
It's
you know, it's crazy because like this was actually last year was the first time I bought Halloween decorations for my house, like
yeah.
coffins, and I bought a Sam from
Oh,
Trick or Treat from the Halloween shop down the road, and I'm not going to be able to use all that. I mean, I could still set it out, but I'm not going to be able to scare anybody with it.
I think we'll still be on the streets in costumes, but we'll be like standing like 5 meters apart, and we'll be looking at all the cool houses. I mean, where there's always one cool house where they have like my neighborhood, like, the dry ice and like all like the animatronic coffins opening and closing like that. That house,
Yeah,
I'm hoping will still be there, and would
yeah.
love. I don't need the candy to have Halloween. Uh, yeah.
Now,
I,
do you think the concern this year is going to be as opposed to the razor blades and the apples or the candy bars? Do you think now it's going to be like, wait, hun? I remember that asshole didn't have gloves on wearing that threw you that Snickers.
yeah, right, exactly.
Throw that away.
This will actually be the Halloween where it's okay to wear a mask. I mean, I'm a teacher. The kids can never wear masks to cover
Yeah,
their faces, like they're not allowed. But actually,
yeah,
this year maybe they will be encouraged to wear masks. And
yeah.
I don't know. We're living in strange times, but
It is.
yeah. Anywho, so yeah, we're good to go. Wait, somebody's saying Bruce. Oh wow, I can't even
So,
say this name. Adam's Family House, nice.
and
The
they go to concerts for Halloween.
Yeah, the Adams Family is in the new Planet Wax book. Shameless
Yeah.
plug. Um, I didn't know a lot about the. I mean, everyone knows the Adams Family theme, but I didn't realize that the composer Vic Mizzy did a lot of old Don Knotts movies. But he
Oh, really?
was involved in choosing some of the props for the house, and was involved in like having everybody snap their fingers like that, like in the opening credits. Like that's him.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Was involved in like that opening credit sequence and had like a role in like shaping the look of that. That was a piece of information I learned upon researching for this book.
Okay. They
Learned some.
just recently this last year came out with a newer animated Adams Family movie, like a kid friendly type thing. And there's actually the movie wasn't all that bad, but what I liked was there's a making of documentary also on it that's about probably 45 minutes. It's really, really cool. It goes into just the layers of how they put everything together, and really, really slick.
On the new movie that came out, you're saying?
Yeah. Yep.
Kids saw that. I have not seen it yet, but they liked it.
Yeah. That's general consensus that I hear, man. But we're going to end this. We're going to take off on Saturday, and we're going to have us another good conversation, man. I truly appreciate you hopping on, and we're going to have some fun.
Hey, I'm glad that Instagram Live works. And, go Instagram. And yeah, looking forward to chatting on Saturday. My hair will be even bigger, and I plan.
Any reason?
This is the longest hair I've had since grade 9. Grade 9, my hair used to be like down to here, and I wore like a Metallica shirt. But
Yes.
times they've changed.
Very nice. All right, buddy. Well, you have a good night, and you take care. And thank you very much for talking.
Awesome. Thanks. Take care.
All right. Have a good night.
He's a lo-fi horror guy. Yeah, he's kind of a guy, but he is so lo-fi, a horror guy. Yeah, baby.